Hi, it's Was from Tone Revival here again. So I'm going to repair a Mogami cable and put a Neutrik Right Angled Jack on it. So I've cut it after the break where I found it. And this is the connector. These are a little bit tricky to do. But first things first, boot. Put the boot on. Alright, so let's put this in. Now, using my sharp, slightly dull knife, I usually butt that right all the way up there, go to about here, and make my cut. So once again, I use that blunt knife. Well, it's not blunt, but it's not sharp. Just so I don't nick the cables when you go through. So that's all the way through. Now, this is a spiral shield, so it's not braided. So what I do here is I either use the pick or the Stanley knife, and I kind of work my way, find a bit where it's kind of open. Splay it open like that. And get it. And if I was doing a straight connector, I'd leave it flat. Leave this flat and then do it like that. But because of these, the ground shield goes across here. The original ones didn't. You had to score it and solder it to the actual side of the connector. But this one here, I will twist it. So I kind of see what the lay of the cable is, and then I'll twist and do a, and sort of when I twist, I pull out so it doesn't all bunch up. Like that. Now with these, because if you look at the side of the connector, it kind of curves down. So what I do is, I have it so it's coming out flat, and then I'll put a slight curve on it. Exaggerate the curve as I go down. About there. Now I'll tin that. Start at the end, get it hot. All the way down. Like that. And then I'll cut that about there. So there's just a slight curve on it still, and that will lay nicely in the connector like that. Let's see. So it's already kind of following that contour now. Now I'll cut that capacitive film off. Now, I want to measure, so I want this to have a nice curve on it and sort of come in and into here. So, I want to cut it about there-ish. Yeah, about there. Not sure, cut longer and then just work back. Always easier to cut than to add it on later. Alright, so it's all the way around. Off. solder. Let's tin that guy. So now this is gonna sit there, and this, obviously too long, is going to go in there. And what I do is, because I want it to go down, I don't want it just to touch there, I want it to go down and into the connector. So I'm going to bend it a little bit. Like that. So when it goes in, it's going to go hard up. I want to make as much contact of that wire to the actual socket. I don't want it swimming in solder, I want to actually make a physical connection. Okay, so like that. So I've ended up with something like that. Now let's tin. So tin that connector there, and let's just get a little bit happening inside there. Awkward angle. See, it's not really grabbing, yeah, so I want to get a bit more surface contact. There we go. Now the trick here is I place that in. So I'll make that, I'll solder that first and then solder that guy in. So let's get a little bit more solder on the tip of the iron. And once again, I put the tip connector, the inner sleeve, in first to kind of locate me. Heat up the connector, get that molten, and kind of touch the sleeve on. So that's kind of going. And that's on. So what I'll probably do is just run a little bit more solder in there. Get it really nice and on around that connector. Now, I've got a little bit of solder here. Just clean that off. Now the pair of pliers, needle nose pliers, I'm going to, excuse me, set that connector in there, and then apply heat and then push it so it's making contact at the back of that connector. You want to work fast because that will melt quicker. The Canare one seems to hold its crap together a little bit longer than the Mogami. Mogami goes pretty quick. There you go. That's how I solder them. And then once again I cut off that bit there. That in, set up there, get the boot that I remembered to put on before. This slides over, make sure to get it into that groove there on both sides, slides over, and then there is your right angle connector.